My dear friends, tonight I want to speak to you about the one and only way to abundance, the one and only path to wealth, prosperity, and the unfolding of financial freedom in your life. And that way is not by toil, not by struggle, not by chasing, but by feeling rich now. The world tells you to do, to act, to labor, to accumulate knowledge, and to seek wealth as though it were outside of you. But I tell you, the riches you seek are already within you. They exist now here, as states of consciousness, waiting for you to occupy them. If you can feel yourself wealthy, if you can assume that you already are what you desire to be, then you have entered the only door that leads to its manifestation. The world without is nothing but the reflection of the world within. When you understand this, you will cease to look outward for the cause of your financial condition and begin to look within. For the only reality that matters is the one you dare to assume in consciousness. Every man is rich or poor, according to the state of consciousness he occupies. A beggar sitting on the street may imagine himself a millionaire, and though his outer garments do not yet reflect it, he is already in motion toward that realization. Likewise, a man clothed in gold and silk may imagine himself broke, fearful of loss, and thus he is already moving toward poverty. For the outer world must mirror the inner state. That which you feel yourself to be, you are. That which you imagine yourself to have, you possess. The law of assumption is not concerned with facts, it is concerned with faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. What does this mean? It means that faith is the ability to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled even when all the evidence of your senses denies it. You must be willing to live as though your wealth were already a fact. Even when your bank account seems empty, even when circumstances appear hostile, you must dare to feel rich and persist in that feeling. For that feeling, sustained, will harden into fact. You have been taught to think of money as something that comes from work, from opportunity, from others, but all these are only shadows cast by your inner state. There is no power outside of consciousness. There is no source of supply but your own imagination. Imagination creates reality. It is not a metaphor. It is a literal truth. Every event in your life, every dollar you receive or lose, every person who helps or hinders you, all are drawn to you through the state you occupy in consciousness. If you feel lack, if you feel poor, if you feel the anxiety of not having enough, that feeling will draw to you experiences that confirm your inner conviction. The law cannot be mocked. As within, so without. But if you can lift yourself in imagination, if you can close your eyes and feel the relief, the freedom, the abundance, the comfort of already having all that you desire, you will change the pattern of your life. You may say, "But Neville, how can I feel rich when I have bills to pay and debts upon me?" My dear friend, that is the test. You are not asked to ignore your world, you are asked to reinterpret it. You must learn to walk in this world with your senses anchored in another, the invisible world of imagination. You must train yourself to respond inwardly to the feeling of wealth, even when the outer world gives you no reason to. For it is only by feeling the reality of the invisible that you give it the power to become visible. Everything you now see was once imagined. Every building, every coin, every system of exchange was once an idea held in the mind of man. You too are the creator of your own fortune, and your imagination is the workshop where riches are born. Do not wait for circumstances to change. Change your inner speech, your inner tone, your inner conversation about money. Listen to how you speak to yourself. Do you say, "I cannot afford this"? Then you are affirming lack. Do you say, "Money never stays with me"? Then you are commanding it to flee. Speak only what you desire to see made manifest. Feel only what you wish to experience. For feeling is the secret. It is the key that unlocks the treasure house within you. You do not have to know how it will come, for the ways and means are infinite. The depth of your own being, your subconscious mind, will arrange the circumstances necessary for your assumption to be fulfilled. All you are required to do is to remain faithful to your state, to feel rich now. You are the operant power. Do not wait for the world to confirm your wealth. Confirm it within yourself. Close your eyes tonight before you sleep, and imagine the thrill of being financially free. Feel the joy of knowing that every bill is paid, that money flows easily to you, that you are the master of abundance. Let that feeling so saturate your being that, when you open your eyes, you walk as one who is rich, not as one who is hoping to become rich. You cannot become what you do not already feel yourself to be. Becoming implies being. You must be it in consciousness before you can see it in form. To feel rich is to declare, I am wealthy. That simple statement contains the secret of creation. I am is the name of God, the name of being itself. When you say, I am, you are declaring the existence of something in your own consciousness. If you say, I am poor, you give power to that state. If you say, I am rich, and persist in that assumption, then the world must eventually conform to your declaration. The world does not respond to your words alone, but to the feeling behind them. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. Therefore, the command is not, think rich, but feel rich. Thought is the seed, but feeling is the life that gives it form. The difference between wishing and assuming is the difference between dreaming of wealth and possessing it. Wishing keeps your desire in the future. Assuming brings it into the present. You must feel as though it were already true. Now, you must walk through your day as if the miracle has already occurred. Not with arrogance or pretense, but with the quiet assurance of one who knows that imagination creates reality. The moment you feel rich, you shift your identity. And since the world is nothing but the projection of who you are conscious of being, the outer world must reorganize itself to match your new state. The people, the opportunities, the ideas, the sudden changes, they are all the shadows cast by your inner transformation. Now, do not be discouraged if things seem unchanged at first. The seed takes time to germinate beneath the soil. The moment you assume the feeling of wealth, the invisible process begins. Do not dig up your seed with doubt. Persist in the assumption. Let the feeling of richness become your dwelling place. Live in that state until it feels natural. When it feels natural, it will be inevitable. You cannot fail when you understand and apply this law. The law of assumption is the law of life. It governs every aspect of existence. Everything depends upon your inner conversations. That silent speech that goes on within you all day long. Are you complaining about lack? Are you worrying about expenses? Then you are praying for more lack, for every feeling is a prayer. Change your prayer. Let your inner dialogue reflect the state of wealth you wish to experience. Say within yourself, I am blessed. Money flows to me in avalanches of abundance. Everything I touch prospers. I live in ease and comfort. I am rich now. And feel the truth of these words. Do not repeat them mechanically. Feel them with intensity. Let them stir your soul. That feeling, that conviction, is the magnet that draws wealth to you. Remember, wealth is not the accumulation of things. It is a state of being. A man may lose all he owns, and yet remain rich if his consciousness of wealth is unshaken. For out of that consciousness, new forms of wealth will arise. Likewise, a man who feels poor, though he inherits a fortune, will soon find a way to lose it, for his inner poverty must express itself. Therefore, do not concern yourself with appearances. They are temporary. Your inner state is eternal. Feel yourself rich now, regardless of circumstances. Feel gratitude for the money you have, however small. Gratitude multiplies what you appreciate. What you reject or resent, you repel. Love money as an expression of divine abundance, not as a master but as a servant. See it as energy that flows freely, returning to you multiplied. Let your imagination be your bank. Deposit in it daily thoughts and feelings of wealth, generosity, and joy. Spend in imagination as freely as you wish to spend in the outer world. Buy what you desire in the workshop of your mind. Feel the pleasure of ownership. Walk through your imaginary home, sit in your imaginary car, wear your imaginary clothes, and feel that they are yours now. You may think this is fantasy, but it is creation. Everything begins in the unseen. The world is imagination made visible. When you understand this, you will no longer despise the day of small beginnings. You will no longer say, "One day I will be rich." You will say, "I am rich now." And that feeling will open the doors to experiences that confirm it. Do not let the opinions of others sway you. They live in their own self-imposed prisons of belief. You are free to assume whatever you dare to assume. The world you experience tomorrow is being shaped by the feelings you entertain today. So entertain only those feelings that are consistent with your desire fulfilled. If you wish to experience abundance, you must live from abundance in consciousness. You must think, feel, and act from the premise that you already possess it. This does not mean reckless spending or pretending. It means inwardly identifying yourself with the feeling of wealth. The rich man has a certain ease about him, a calm assurance, a relaxed confidence. Cultivate that feeling within yourself. Walk through life as though everything is working in your favor. Because it is. The universe is nothing but your own consciousness, pushed out. If you assume the state of wealth, the world will echo that assumption back to you through circumstances, people, and opportunities. My dear friends, the great secret is this: you do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. If you are poor in consciousness, you cannot hold wealth. If you are rich in consciousness, nothing can keep it from you. Therefore, the command is simple: feel rich now. Do not wait for tomorrow. Do not wait for evidence. Start now, in this moment, to feel the reality of abundance. It is already yours. The treasure is within you. The kingdom of heaven, the state of perfect fulfillment, is not in some distant place. It is within. And that kingdom contains all the riches, all the joy, all the comfort you could ever desire. When you awaken to this truth, you will laugh at the idea of scarcity. You will see that there was never a lack of supply, only a lack of awareness. Everything you need is present, waiting to be claimed through your assumption. Feel the joy of possession. Let your imagination be the bridge to the life you desire. Tonight, as you go to sleep, practice this simple exercise. Relax your body and quiet your mind. Imagine that you have just received wonderful financial news. Perhaps a business deal succeeded, or an unexpected gift arrived, or your bank balance multiplied. Feel the joy of it. Feel the satisfaction, the relief, the gratitude. Let that emotion fill you until it is more real than the room around you. Drift into sleep in that state. This is the secret. The feeling you take into sleep defines your world. Sleep in the feeling of wealth, and you will awaken to a richer world. For what you feel in imagination, you make real in the depths of your being, and that deep self, the subconscious, will bring it to pass in ways you cannot foresee. The power that created worlds is within you, responding to your every assumption. Use it wisely. Use it lovingly. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are the creator of them. Every limitation, every obstacle, every shortage has only one cause: your belief in it. Withdraw your attention from lack and give it to abundance. Where attention goes, energy flows. Feel yourself surrounded by plenty. Feel money flowing freely in your life. Feel that you are always taken care of, always supplied, always supported. And as you persist, the invisible will become visible. You will find yourself living in a world that mirrors your new state of consciousness. A world of wealth, ease, and freedom. So tonight, remember this truth and make it your own. To be rich, you must feel rich. To have abundance, you must live from abundance. The world is your mirror, and it will always show you what you are in consciousness. Therefore, dare to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Say within yourself, I am rich now. I am abundance in expression. Money flows to me effortlessly. I live in divine prosperity. Persist in this feeling until it becomes natural, until it no longer feels like pretending, but simply being. And when that happens, the law will fulfill itself, silently, perfectly, inevitably. For imagination creates reality. Feeling is the secret. And the only way to abundance and money is to feel rich now. My dear friends, let us continue. When I speak of feeling rich now, I do not mean a shallow excitement or a fleeting emotion that rises and fades with circumstance. I mean a deep, abiding conviction, a knowing within yourself that abundance is your natural state of being. You were never meant to struggle, never meant to chase after things. You are meant to create from within. For you are imagination itself, clothed in flesh. The outer world is the mirror, but the mirror cannot reflect what has not first appeared before it. If you would change what you see, you must change what you imagine. And that change begins with feeling. Feelings are the secret movements of consciousness that shape your destiny. You are rich when you feel yourself rich, even if your purse is empty. For the invisible creates the visible, and what you feel inwardly must one day harden into fact. Most people live their lives believing that money is something apart from themselves, that it belongs to the economy, to employers, to luck, to fate. But I tell you, everything that appears in your world is drawn from your consciousness. You are not a beggar before life, you are its author. The bank, the job, the opportunity, the client, they are but instruments through which your inner state expresses itself. When you occupy the feeling of wealth, the world rearranges itself to deliver it to you. It is not arrogance to feel rich before the evidence appears, it is faith. Faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. Faith is vision anchored in the invisible. When you feel the truth of your desire, when you persist in it, the unseen becomes seen. You need not know how. You need only remain faithful to the state. The how belongs to the deeper wisdom within you, the divine imagination, which knows all ways and holds all means. Consider the lilies of the field, they toil not, neither do they spin. Yet Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Why? Because their beauty is not achieved through effort but through being. So too must you learn to rest in the feeling of wealth, not strive toward it. You are not asked to make money come, you are asked to feel as though it already has. That is the essence of creation. When you look upon your present life, what do you feel about money? Be honest with yourself. Do you feel anxious, undeserving, doubtful, frustrated? Those feelings are prayers. And every prayer is answered according to its nature. The universe does not judge, it simply reflects. When you feel poor, you magnetize experiences that echo that poverty. When you feel rich, you magnetize wealth. It is not enough to merely repeat affirmations without emotion. Words alone have no creative power, unless they are felt to be true. To say, I am rich, while feeling lack is to confess the very opposite. The subconscious hears the feeling, not the words. Therefore, you must learn the art of emotional alignment, to feel the reality of your words as though they were already fact. Imagine now that you have already achieved all financial freedom. Close your eyes for a moment and feel it. What does it feel like to wake up in the morning knowing that money is abundant? There is no worry, no fear, no pressure. There is lightness, joy, and gratitude. You move through your day with ease, confident that every desire is met even before you express it. That is the state you must assume and dwell in. Carry that feeling with you as you move through life. You will soon notice small evidences of change. Unexpected gifts, new opportunities, people appearing at the right time. All these are reflections of your inner transformation. Do not dismiss them as coincidences. They are the outer signs of an invisible shift. You may find that your interests begin to change. Perhaps you are drawn to new ideas, new paths, new inspirations. That is your imagination guiding you toward the physical manifestation of your assumption. Follow the impulse, but remain anchored in the feeling. Never allow the outer to dictate the inner. The outer must obey the inner. It has no choice. When you truly feel rich, you will notice how generosity flows naturally. You will no longer hoard, nor fear giving. For one who knows abundance understands that to give is to multiply. You cannot outgive consciousness, for all is consciousness. The mesosphere of loss creates loss. The giver's joy in sharing multiplies his store. Whatever you give with love returns multiplied. But do not give merely to receive. Give because it is natural to abundance. To feel rich now is to release all resentment toward money. Many unconsciously reject wealth by holding critical thoughts about those who have it. They see the rich as greedy or unspiritual, but in truth, wealth is neither good nor bad. It is neutral energy shaped by consciousness. When you despise wealth in others, you secretly reject it in yourself. You cannot attract what you inwardly condemn. Therefore, bless the wealth you see. Bless the houses, the cars, the success of others. Say within yourself, that is wonderful. That is mine in consciousness too. In that moment, you lift yourself to their level. You identify with abundance rather than separation. Remember, the world of wealth is a state of consciousness. Every man or woman you see living richly is merely occupying that state. The same door is open to you. There is no limit to what you may assume, no restriction on what you may be. You have only to feel it real. Now, I want you to understand something profound. You are never manifesting money itself. You are manifesting states of consciousness that produce money as their natural outpouring. When you feel secure, grateful, capable, and abundant, money appears as one of many symbols of that state. But when you feel desperate and needy, you push it away. The outer form always follows the inner essence. You could take away every coin from a man who feels rich within, and soon, he would attract it all back again. You could give millions to one who feels poor, and he would find a way to lose it. It is not the circumstance, but the state that determines destiny. Therefore, work not to change things, but to change states. And how do you change a state? Through assumption. To assume is to accept something as true without question. You assume it first in imagination, then you persist until it feels natural. When it feels natural, it becomes subconscious. And the subconscious, being creative, produces it in form. Every night, as you lie down to sleep, is an opportunity to plant the seeds of wealth. The last thought before sleep is the most potent, for it sinks deeply into the subconscious. Instead of reviewing the day's troubles, imagine yourself in possession of your desire. See yourself living in abundance, traveling freely, giving generously. Hear the voices of friends congratulating you. Feel the joy as real. Drift off to sleep in that feeling. When you awaken, the creative process is already in motion. You may not see immediate change, but rest assured, it is happening beneath the surface. Your assumption is drawing into your world all that is necessary to make it manifest. Never look at the outer world and say, "It is not working." That is the voice of doubt trying to uproot your seed. Every time you affirm lack, you start the process anew. Be patient, persistent, and faithful. The feeling of wealth will eventually dominate your consciousness, and when it does, your world must mirror it. Let me tell you a story. A woman once wrote to me saying she had long desired financial freedom, but she saw no possible way. Her income was small, her debts many, her circumstances fixed. I told her stop worrying about how. Instead, each night before sleep, imagine yourself counting large sums of money. Feel the joy of it. Feel yourself debt-free and prosperous. Do this until the feeling takes hold. She followed the instruction faithfully. Within weeks, unexpected changes began. An old debt was forgiven, a new opportunity arose, and money began to flow in ways she had not conceived. The how was never her concern. It was the state that mattered. She changed her feeling, and life responded. You see, imagination is the only reality. You are free to imagine anything, and whatever you imagine with feeling must come to pass. The law is exact, impersonal, and honoring. You cannot feel lack and expect plenty. You cannot feel poverty and experience prosperity. You cannot feel small and live large. The feeling itself is the seed, and the harvest matches the seed. Begin today to observe your reactions to money. When you pay a bill, do you feel loss or gratitude? When you see wealth, do you feel envy or inspiration? Each reaction reveals your inner relationship with abundance. Choose the higher feeling every time. Transform resentment into admiration, fear into trust, scarcity into sufficiency. Do not measure your wealth by possessions. Measure it by the richness of your awareness. When you awaken to the truth that consciousness is the only cause, you will see that you already possess the key to all treasures. There is no secret beyond this. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and persist in that assumption. Many think the law of assumption means forcing themselves to believe what they do not yet see. But it is not force, it is surrender. Surrender to the truth that you are already that which you seek. You drop the struggle, the effort, the waiting, and rest in the knowing that it is done. You accept it as real in consciousness, and consciousness will make it so. You must live in the end. Living in the end means to feel and act as though your desire were already accomplished. It means walking by faith, not by sight. It means choosing the inner reality over the outer appearance. And as you do this consistently, the outer will conform. When the mind is disciplined in this way, you become a master creator. No longer are you at the mercy of economy, politics, or fortune. You know the only power is within. You no longer beg for supply, you generate it. You no longer chase opportunities, they appear effortlessly. You no longer fear loss, you understand that nothing can be taken from consciousness, except by its own assumption. Money is an expression of faith. When you feel yourself secure in God, the I am within you, money becomes your servant. It comes and goes easily, without anxiety. But when you trust in money alone, you enslave yourself to it, and it flees from your grasp. Therefore, seek first the kingdom within, the feeling of fulfillment, and all things shall be added unto you. Let this truth take root in you. You are not becoming rich, you are revealing the richness you already are. The outer manifestation is but the echo of your inner declaration. If you can believe this and live by it, life will unfold in perfect harmony with your feeling. Now imagine for a moment that you have already arrived. Imagine you are sitting in your beautiful home, with peace in your heart, knowing that abundance is your constant companion. You feel the quiet joy of freedom, the ease of knowing that everything is provided for. There is no rush, no worry, only gratitude. That is the state of wealth. Hold it. Live in it. The longer you dwell in that feeling, the sooner it will externalize. But even if the evidence delays, remain unmoved. For persistence is the secret of success in this law. Feel rich when you have little. Feel rich when you have much. Feel rich when the world doubts you. For feeling is the cause, not the effect. All great masters have known this truth in their own way. They understood that man moves from state to state, and each state brings with it its own world. You can move from poverty to abundance as easily as changing clothes, if you will but assume the new state. You do not struggle to become what you already are in consciousness. You simply accept it. The acceptance itself creates the transformation. You are not trying to attract money, you are identifying with the state of wealth. Once identified, the world must obey. Therefore, let today be the day you abandon all thoughts of lack. Let today be the day you stop saying, I can't afford. Replace every limitation with the affirmation, I am abundant. Speak it, feel it, live it. Every moment is a new opportunity to assume the state of wealth. You can begin now, where you are, with what you have. No change of job, no external help is required. Only a change in feeling. And remember, wealth is not merely financial. It is emotional, spiritual, creative. It is the fullness of life expressing itself through you. Money will come as one of the many expressions of that fullness. So, feel rich now. Feel abundant now. Feel that life loves you and supports you in every way. That feeling, sustained and believed in, will change your world. My friends, the truth I share with you tonight is older than any book, deeper than any philosophy, and yet as simple as a child's imagination. Everything that you could ever desire, every coin, every home, every opportunity, already exists in the eternal now, waiting for you to feel it real. There is nothing to wait for, nothing to earn, nothing to prove. There is only consciousness, only imagination, only feeling. And you, being the operant power, can move from one state to another simply by assuming it to be true. When I say, feel rich now, I am not asking you to pretend. I am asking you to remember. You came from infinite abundance, from the source of all creation. The same life that paints sunsets, that gives birth to stars, that spins the galaxies, that very same power animates you. How then could you ever be poor? Poverty is not a condition. It is a forgetting of who you are. Abundance is not something to gain. It is something to awaken to. Look around you. Everything is energy vibrating at different frequencies. Money is energy. Wealth is energy. And your feelings are the tuning fork that determines which frequency you align with. When you feel rich, you are tuning yourself to the vibration of abundance. And the universe, being obedient to law, must match that frequency. It must bring to you everything that resonates with that feeling. You are not at the mercy of chance. You are the cause of everything that happens to you. That is not a burden. It is liberation. The moment you understand that your outer world is your inner reflection, you gain dominion over life. No longer will you chase shadows. You will master the light within. Let us speak of imagination again, for it is the workshop of creation. Imagination is not idle fancy. It is the creative power of God in you. Everything that exists was once imagined. The home you live in, the money in circulation, the clothes you wear, all began in the invisible realm of thought and feeling. When you imagine, you are using the same creative power that shaped the world. To feel rich now is to use that divine power consciously. It is to say, I will no longer imagine lack, I will no longer imagine limitation. I will imagine only wealth, joy, and freedom. And when you persist in that vision, when you clothe it with emotion, it must become fact. Do not wait until conditions improve to feel abundant, for conditions are effects. They cannot change until the cause changes. And the cause is always within you. If you are waiting for the outer to make you feel rich, you will wait forever. You must reverse the order. Feel rich first, and the outer world will reflect it. Some say, "But Neville, isn't that self-deception? How can I feel rich when I have nothing?" I tell you, it is the only truth. You deceive yourself when you accept poverty as real. You deceive yourself when you identify with lack. To feel rich is to align with the truth of your being, for you are one with infinite supply. The outer symbols of wealth are transient, but the consciousness of wealth is eternal. You could lose every possession today, and yet regain it all tomorrow, if you maintain the feeling of abundance. For the feeling is the root. The possessions are the branches. Tend to the root, and the tree must flourish. You must understand, imagination and feeling are one. To imagine without feeling is to paint without color. Feeling gives life to the image. It is the emotional acceptance that this is so. When you feel the reality of your wish fulfilled, you are already living in the end. And living in the end is the secret of creation. The world is a mirror. It does not reflect what you wish for. It reflects what you are conscious of being. If you wish to see more wealth, do not fight the mirror. Change your reflection. Become wealth in consciousness. See yourself as prosperous, capable, deserving, and the mirror will obey. Let us make this practical. Suppose you desire financial independence. Instead of saying, "I will be rich one day," you say, "I am rich now." Then you ask yourself, what does it feel like? You close your eyes. You imagine your accounts full, your life free, your heart at ease. You see yourself living as that person. You walk in that feeling until it feels natural. When it feels natural, it is done. Your assumption may be denied by reason, mocked by fact, ridiculed by logic, but hold it nonetheless. For imagination is the only reality, and what is real in imagination will one day be seen in the physical world. The world always lags behind imagination, as the echo lags behind the voice. Every great fortune began as an idea. The men and women who changed the world did not wait for evidence. They felt the truth of their vision long before the world could see it. They lived in the end, and the end became the means. You too must live in the end. Feel it now. If you can discipline your inner talk, you can master wealth. What are you saying to yourself about money all day long? Are you rehearsing lack, or are you affirming abundance? Are you imagining unpaid bills, or are you imagining overflowing accounts? Your inner words are seeds, and every seed bears fruit after its kind. Change your inner conversation, and your outer world will change automatically. It may seem too simple, but truth is always simple. Complexity belongs to ignorance, simplicity belongs to wisdom. If you catch yourself thinking, "I can't afford it," stop. Replace it with, "I have all that I need and more." If you say, "Money is hard to come by," change it to, "Money flows to me easily and frequently." But above all, feel what those words imply. Feel the ease, the gratitude, the joy of already having. Do not chase money, attracted by identity. You cannot chase what you already are. If you feel yourself to be wealth itself, then money becomes your natural companion. It flows to you without struggle, for it recognizes its own vibration. There is an ancient saying, "To him that hath, more shall be given." What does this mean? It means that to the one who feels he already has, life adds more of the same. To the one who feels lack, life takes even what little he has. For feeling creates reality, and every feeling seeks its own fulfillment. You are rich in direct proportion to how rich you feel. The richest man alive could feel poor, and thus live in fear. The poorest man in the village could feel abundant, and thus live in peace. The feeling makes the fortune, not the fortune the feeling. Let me tell you another story. A young man once heard me lecture on the law of assumption. He was heavily in debt, unemployed, and full of despair. I told him to stop thinking of himself as poor. Go to sleep each night, I said, imagining you are living the life of wealth and freedom. Feel it so real that you drift into sleep, as that man. He did as instructed. He told me later that at first it felt foolish. But after several weeks, the feeling began to take hold. He felt lighter, freer, more confident. Soon after, he was offered a position he had never applied for. It led to another opportunity, and within a year, his financial situation had completely reversed. He said to me, "Neville, it wasn't the job that changed my life. It was the way I felt about myself." And he was right. The outer was simply the reflection of the inner. The law never fails. You see, your imagination is not a dream, it is reality in its incipient form. You are creating now, in this moment, through what you feel and believe to be true. If you persist in the feeling of wealth, wealth must come. It cannot fail, for it is law. But the key is persistence. Many give up too soon. They imagine for a few days, then look to the outer world for confirmation. Seeing none, they conclude it does not work. But the outer world is slow, while imagination is instant. The delay is mercy, for it allows you to strengthen your assumption before it becomes visible. So persist. Even when appearances deny your claim, remain faithful to your inner vision. When doubt whispers, "It's not working," reply, "It is already done." When fear says, "What if it never happens?" answer, "It already has." Live from the end, not toward it. Do not discuss your assumption with those who will mock it. The unawakened mind cannot comprehend creation by feeling. They will tell you to be realistic, to face facts, to stop dreaming. But facts are old dreams made visible. The realist is simply one who lives in yesterday's imagination. You must dare to imagine boldly. Feel wealth even when the world calls you foolish. For imagination is the only truth, and time is the servant of feeling. What you feel persistently must solidify into form. Let us consider gratitude. Gratitude is the fragrance of wealth. When you are thankful, you are declaring that you have received. Gratitude aligns you with abundance faster than any other feeling. Every time you feel grateful, you multiply what you have. Every time you complain, you diminish it. Begin now to give thanks for your unseen riches. Thank God for your wealth before it appears. Thank life for the money already on its way. Feel gratitude for the prosperity that is unfolding in invisible ways. That feeling will hasten its appearance. Understand this deeply. The subconscious is not impressed by effort, but by conviction. It accepts what feels real. You could work for years and see no change if inwardly you feel poor. Yet one moment of genuine assumption, one moment where you feel yourself truly wealthy, can rearrange your entire life. Therefore, practice the feeling. Morning and night, imagine scenes that imply your wish fulfilled. See yourself signing generous checks, blessing others with ease, enjoying the fruits of wealth. Hear the voices of those who congratulate you. Smell the air of freedom. Feel the softness of prosperity in your heart. This is not fantasy. This is creation. The outer world will conform to your inner picture in its own wonderful way. You need not manipulate circumstances. They will move of their own accord. The law takes care of the details. Remember, you are not commanding money to come. You are simply assuming the state of the one who already has it. Money is secondary. Consciousness is primary. When the state changes, everything changes. If you wish to know whether you are truly in the state of wealth Observe your reactions. Do you feel calm when expenses arise, or do you feel panic? Do you trust that supply will appear, or do you fear shortage? The answers reveal your state. To change the state, change the feeling. And you change the feeling through imagination. Feel the peace of already having. Feel the joy of freedom. Feel the safety of abundance. Feel it so deeply that it becomes your natural mood. Once it is natural, it must express itself. My beloved friends, the law is perfect. It never fails. Whatever you assume, you create. The outer world has no choice but to mirror your inner conviction. So, take your attention away from the evidence of the senses and place it upon the reality of feeling. The unseen world of imagination is the only creative power. Every day, remind yourself, I am not seeking wealth. I am expressing wealth. I am not chasing abundance. I am abundance. And as you do, life will echo your declaration in ways you cannot yet conceive. The moment you feel rich now, you have already changed the script of your life. The stage may not yet show it, but the story has turned. In due time, every character, every circumstance, will adjust itself to fit the new plot you have chosen. The universe is a faithful servant to your feeling. It does not ask. It says only yes. If you feel lack, it says yes. If you feel wealth, it says yes. The power is impartial, the direction is yours to choose. Choose abundance. Choose freedom. Choose wealth. Not tomorrow, not when conditions improve, but now. Feel it now, for now is the only moment that exists. All creation happens in the eternal now. And now, my friends, as we come to the close of this sacred reflection, I ask you to stop seeking wealth as though it lies somewhere outside of you. Stop looking to the banks, the markets, the opportunities of men, for all these are mere reflections of your inner conviction. The treasure you seek is not buried in some distant land, it is buried within your own consciousness. Feel rich now. Not tomorrow. Not when the evidence appears, not when the check arrives, but now, in this moment, in the unseen reality of your imagination. For when you feel it, you have already received it. That invisible feeling, that inner certainty, is your claim of ownership to the world of riches awaiting manifestation. Do not say, I will feel wealthy when I have more money. That is the language of lack. Say instead, I am wealthy, and let that be your silent song throughout the day. Let your heart whisper it as you walk. Let your imagination prove it as you dream. Let your mind bow to the truth that the infinite riches of creation already belong to you. The moment you assume this feeling of wealth, the universe bends itself to reflect your conviction. Every person, every circumstance, every event begins to shift, not because you forced it, but because you became it. You see, abundance is not a reward. It is a recognition. The rich man is not one who possesses more than others, but one who feels himself to be abundant, even in the absence of proof. He knows the unseen is the cause of the seen. He knows that feeling is the secret. And so he lives as though every desire were already fulfilled, as though every door were already open, as though life itself were conspiring for his joy. That man is never poor, for he lives from the inner state of completion. Tonight, when you close your eyes, do not pray for riches. Assume the feeling of being rich. Do not beg for abundance. Embody it. Let your imagination lift you into that state where you feel secure, free, and fulfilled. Walk through the corridors of your mind as one who already owns the palace. Touch the invisible walls of your inner mansion. Smell the fragrance of luxury, the peace of having more than enough. Feel what it means to give freely, to bless others from your overflowing cup. Stay there until that feeling becomes natural, until it is yours, and nothing can shake it. For this is the secret: life can only echo what you are conscious of being. The world cannot give you what you deny within. So give yourself the permission to feel wealthy now. Stand tall in your imagination. Declare silently, I am the richness of life itself. All things are mine. Let every breath affirm it. Let every heartbeat echo it. Soon the outer world will bow to this inner truth, and what was once unseen will take shape before your eyes. Do not measure your wealth by your possessions. Measure it by your consciousness. You are the heir of divine abundance, the image of the infinite source. There is no lack in God, and there is no lack in you. To believe otherwise is to forget your origin. You came from abundance, and to abundance you must return, not by striving, but by remembering who you are. So tonight, remember, abundance is not pursued, it is embodied. Feel it, live it, walk in it, breathe it, and the riches of the world will follow. The law of assumption asks of you only one thing: to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and persist in that state until it hardens into fact. Let that be your command, your meditation, your way of life. For when you feel rich now, when you live in the fullness of your imagined wealth, you become the vessel through which divine opulence expresses itself. Every dream you have ever held, every desire that stirs within you, is simply life seeking to reveal its glory through you. And as you stand in the awareness of, I am, unshaken, unbending, unafraid, the entire universe whispers back, yes, you are, and so it is.